Okay, we're out here today doing some mushroom hunting. We've been getting a lot of rain here lately and a lot of hot and humid weather, so that's the perfect conditions to start looking. We just found one little one so far, about the size of a quarter, but I've been finding a lot of these jack-o'-lanterns you see here in the background. These are a poisonous mushroom. They grow in clusters around bases of trees or stumps usually. You want to stay away from them, they're poisonous. So if you ever see clusters of orange mushrooms, don't pick and eat them. And I recommend that you go with someone that's mushroom hunted in the past, that knows what they're doing. So you don't want to pick something that you're not sure about and ingest it. You got to be really sure of what you're picking and eating. There's so many lookalikes on mushrooms that you got to be really sure. You got to get yourself a good book. The National Audubon Society has a great mushroom book, and also the Peterson Field Guide are two great ones to have. And like I said, the best thing you can do is to go out with somebody that knows what they're doing, so you can learn what's good and what's not. And if you pick mushrooms that you pretty sure that you know that's edible, you got to be 100% know what you're eating. And when you first cook them up, only eat a piece or two. You know, don't go gorging yourself on them. Eat a piece or two and see how your body reacts to it. Even though they're edibles, you might have a reaction to them. Gastric, upset stomach. You could get diarrhea, swollen lips. So these are things to watch for. So just be very cautious with mushroom picking. Let's take a look at these jack-o'-lanterns over here. Usually these will grow around where there used to be an old stump right there, but you'll have clusters of them like that. There won't be one singular mushroom growing here. There'll be clusters of them. Here's about 5 of them all together. Okay. There's multiple ones here. They do have gills underneath. And another way to identify mushrooms also, along with a good field manual, is you can make what they call spore prints. And what you do with that is you get a plain white sheet of paper, and you would take a mushroom like this. You'd cut the stem off and just lay the cap down on the paper with the gill side down. Okay. Put just a drop of water on top, and then put a drinking glass over top of it, and you let that for a few hours, and it'll actually make a colored spore print on the paper. And different mushrooms will have different color spore prints. Some will have brown, some will be white, and you won't even see it on the paper. There's all different color of spore prints, which helps you identify mushrooms. Okay, here's some mushrooms here that are poisonous. This is the one that we call jack-o'-lantern. Now anytime you're hunting mushrooms after rain and they're wet, they're going to look different. color. So you want to be careful of that. That can fool you. Usually these are a lot more oranger. But anytime you see clusters of mushrooms like this that are orange, stay away from them. They're more than likely poisonous. And this is what we call jack-o'-lantern. There's a small edible there. This is what we call corrugated cap. It's a type of milky mushroom. There's two different kinds that we pick and harvest and eat. One's the corrugated cap, and the other one is Voluminous Laytex Milky. But the corrugated cap will be a little darker in color, more of a chestnut color. Okay, and the gills underneath, there'll be a lot of gills that are really tightly packed together. I don't know if you can see that or not. Alright, and any milky mushroom, you scar it and then you'll have white milk come out. Alright. Alright, here's another way to help you identify mushrooms. Is under the cap you will have mushrooms that have gills, and you will have mushrooms that have a sponge. It looks like a sponge, no gills. And that's another way of identifying your mushrooms. Alright, here's one that we're looking for here. Just a real light chestnut color. Alright. This is the little one that we picked earlier. This is the corrugated cap. And we also call these velvet caps. This one here is called the Voluminous Laytex Milky. Alright. So you got to look for this color. And after you've done it for a while, you'll know what to look for. Alright, and then pick your mushroom. Now you see the gills underneath there. Alright. Want to make sure it's a milky. So take your knife and just put a little slice in it. Now do you see that milk coming out? Right there, see that milk? Right there. Alright. Now another way of making sure that you got the right one here, there's so many different kinds of these. There's other varieties of milkies. But right where you made that slice at, that milk and where the slice is will turn brown. It'll bruise. There's another type of milky that looks very similar to this. They look almost identical. And I'm not for sure if it's edible or not, but this is the kind here that we eat. But the gills are a little bit more farther apart. Some of them aren't attached the whole way, and the milk does not stain. But this here will turn dark brown after a while. Okay, here's another one while we're looking here. I just seen it. And I think this is another velvet cap. Just a small one, it's split. Wouldn't be very good, but now see them gills in there? How close together they are. They're really tightly packed. Sometimes they're zigzagged a little bit there. That's the corrugated cap. These are two very choice edibles right here. Alright, we'll keep looking. Alright, this is all we found today. And you just got to get out there every couple days and look, because they can pop up pretty quick. But we had a good rain last night, and I thought maybe today would be a good day, but this is all we're finding right now. These are the two corrugated cap, and we found one Voluminous Laytex Milky. And as I showed you before, we put that little slit with the knife and the milk come out. And what I was talking about is you can see how that kind of turned brown. And that's another thing you want to look for. So there's another Milky that looks almost identical to this. The gills are a little bit different, and it'll have milk that comes out, secretes, but that milk is non-staining. It won't turn brown like that. This has probably been about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and just turn stain brown like that. Here's the corrugated cap. It's not a very good example of one. We'll get some bigger ones here and show you. Hopefully, usually these here we find around the beginning of July, around July 4th. You want to start looking for these. This is July 14th now. I got out here kind of late. I don't know if I missed these or if they're still coming on yet, but we'll keep checking. And usually the corrugated cap ones, about the middle to the end of July into August, you'll find these. But hopefully we'll get some better specimens here to show you later on. But, all right, that's it for today. Okay, here's an edible mushroom here. I've never ate these before, but they are edible. This is called the Old Man of the Woods. Okay. Everything's wet today, so everything looks different. If things would dry out, this would look a lot better, but it's like a rough top there. It's usually black and gray. It's called Old Man of the Woods. Okay, and they'll have the sponge bottom underneath. See that? They won't have the gills, they'll be like a sponge, black. And I believe if you make a spore print with this one, the spore print comes out black as well. We did find another Voluminous Laytex Milky up the hill here, but about the size of a little saucer plate, but it was heading the other way. It was a little bit too far gone, so I forgot to film that for you. But yeah, this is Old Man of the Woods. It looks like something you wouldn't want to eat, but it is an edible mushroom. After you do it for a while, you'll start to get an eye for it, what you're looking for. Sometimes it's easier to spot your mushrooms going uphill, and sometimes you can see them better coming downhill. It all depends on the light too, the sunlight and everything. You can go one direction and miss some, and then come back a different direction and find some that you missed. This is a type of milky here, but I wouldn't recommend you eat it. I forget the name of this. It could be like peppery milky or something. But you only want to eat the ones that you know. And that one there I stay away from. I usually see a lot of these reddish or maroon type ones. Usually they'll be white underneath. I think they're called russulas or something like that. It's not something that it's not ones that we pick to eat. Okay, up here I'll show you something, another type of fungus. Alright, this is called Indian pipe stem. As you can see, the stem comes up and the top curves. Looks like a pipe that people smoke. Indian pipe stem.